What's going on, everybody?
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. We're here again.
Yay.
Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a week.
I know we actually do never see each other. So we're always doing different things. Remember the days when we used to be able to go to open houses and stuff together?
Yep, those were the days.
Well, how are y'all doing?
I hope everybody's doing good. Over 4,600 acres protected in Horry County.
That's a lot of acres.
They're being moved towards public conservation. And that means that it can never be rezoned or changed. It's permanent, it's fixed.
Well, that's something that's not just environmentally friendly, but it actually has an impact on real estate values here locally. So we can talk about both, because you think about conservation as just, you know, the like crazy conservation groups and all this stuff, but it actually is a good thing and can affect real estate values positively. So you want to talk about what it is first, where it is, and then we can chat about thoughts on what would make that appealing if you go to buy or sell here in the area, and also what parts of town it's in.
Yes. So it borders, and correct me if I'm wrong, I have to put my glasses on here.
Waccamaw River.
Well, it's borders, I think, Aner, Conway,
Longs, Red Bluff, unincorporated Horry County. So we're not
closest to the corridor.
Yeah, so we're not talking about right at the beach. So you all know we already have an amazing environmental draw here, which is the beach. So we're talking about inland, away from all the tourist hot spots. This is the place that we even talked about this last week, how they were putting money into the rural civic centers and stuff like that, because we've had such tremendous growth. I feel like a broken record. We say this every week, but it's crazy. We're still one of the fastest growing counties in the whole country, which is crazy. So we're not just now cutting down all the trees in the area to support this growth. We're also moving to conserve areas of land and wildlife, and also bring more amenities and outdoor activities that are available to people that are vacationing here or live here all the time.
And if you've ever driven towards Conway, you've probably seen this property. But essentially, the Nature Conservancy bought 4 separate properties.
Yeah, lumber.
Totaling over 4,600 acres.
It's like timberland that they purchased.
And then they're going to transfer everything to the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, I know. And by early 2027, and that'll be permanent, which means, like we said, it can't be rezoned. It can't, they can't do anything to it. It can't make any changes to it. That's a done deal. And then people can start using it by 2027 as well. So like,
I'm sure they'll probably be doing walking paths.
Kayaking.
Yeah, kayaking, hiking. They said hunting. They've talked about it. I mean, we don't know. Look, right now it was just announced. So by the time they get it open to the public, that could change what they do. But they've been talking about fishing, hiking, biking, hunting, all of these things along the river and in the woods. So it'll be interesting to see if they do trails and that kind of thing when they're opening this up for everybody, like the other parks and preserve areas in town. We do actually have quite a few. We have the Huntington Beach State Park, Myrtle Beach State Park, Lewis Bays Preserve. So, I mean, there's so many places already in town. So we don't talk about that enough. We talk about growth and all these trees being cut down and traffic and yada, yada. But the county actually is doing a good job in having a lot of conservation type areas that are open to the public.
Yeah, it's a growth versus preservation conversation, really. And, you know, it depends on how you look at it, right? I mean, we want to keep as much as we can, but you also, everybody here is focused on growth. So you've got the two sides, and there's got to be a happy medium. I think as far as like a country, we're a little bit different than everyone else. We'll probably get into that a little bit, but you know, that's the biggest, toughest thing.
Well, I think
balancing that.
People are drawn to the beach for the natural beauty that we have here. So we want to preserve that. And I know we do have a lot of growth going on, but the county stepping up and actually helping to preserve some of the natural beauty of the area is a huge win, I think.
I agree.
And they've been doing it consistently. So I don't know that this is even the last project that they'll work on, but it's an exciting new one. But it helps all kinds of things, not just recreation. It draws people more to the outskirts, the rural areas of Horry County. So that could help people maybe go to restaurants or shops or whatever in those parts of town. So I think that could be a good thing to draw some tourism dollars, or even local people going there and spending some money, some time.
No, I agree.
Or moving to those areas.
Yeah, and it's planned for permanent public preservation. We don't know, that could mean many things, but the plan is to not do anything with it except let people use it. So that could change, I guess.
And things have been moving out towards the rural areas anyway. We've had a lot of people that want more land. They don't necessarily want to be in the hustle and bustle of all the beach and the tourism and stuff like that. And they want to be drivable to the beach, like a reasonable 30 minutes to an hour from the beach, where they can spend the day at the beach easily, but they kind of want to be out of the hustle and bustle and have more land, more quiet space, more of a rural atmosphere, maybe animals. And so this is catering also to those people and giving them another place to go and do recreational activities.
Exactly. And it's interesting, there's a lot of benefits also to having this property or living by it. So the communities and the people that own property near this, that should never get disturbed. And so that makes properties more valuable that are near this stretch of property.
They say that being near a conservation area like this, or a known piece of land that's not going to be developed, could increase. It's not guaranteed ever. I mean, it depends on how popular the place is and what it offers, but 5% to 20% in values of homes. So that is a potential bonus. And then if you're thinking about, let's say that you go look at a piece of land and there's this huge area that was just taken over by the conservation, but let's say that it was owned by private developers. Chances are, especially in our area, at one point in time, those trees are going to be cut down and it's going to be developed. But if you know for sure that this is a conservation area, it's marked, it's not going to change, that helps you make a buying decision to say, okay, I know what's going to be there. I'm not going to have any surprises coming up. There's not going to be a big shopping mall across from my house. And so taking out that unknown factor also helps increase the property value, because it's like, okay, we know what's going to be there. We can sell that story. And it gives you can go right by our property and go hiking or kayaking or canoeing, whatever you want to do there. So it just adds some value.
How many times have you heard the story where, and this is from the real estate perspective, we hear people who purchase property, their agent didn't tell them that there was going to be XYZ put in, and
then a highway comes into their backyard or
next
something.
thing you know, they're on a highway. So
yeah. I mean, so it does, especially if you're in a rural area, you think, oh, it's out here. But honestly, like Frank said, it could be a highway coming in. It could be a new shopping center because things are moving out that way. It could be maybe a huge builder like D.R. Horton comes and clear cuts the lands and put in a big neighborhood. So there's so many things around town that you pass woods every day. Like even where we live in Carolina Forest for years and years, you just thought those woods would be there forever. And then slowly but surely you're like, that one too, those woods too.
Well, that's the biggest point of contention for so many people that live here. We either get one of two comments when we're doing, and almost every single video topic we do has to do with the growth or what's coming because of the growth or what's not happening. And people are on one side or the other. You either love the growth or you can't stand it. How many times do we get, especially on TikTok? My goodness, I love all of you people on TikTok. But man, they're like, oh my gosh, the small town feel is gone, yada, 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 over and over again.
I mean, I don't necessarily think that's
I don't think that either, but I think it's all relative.
Said like Carolina Forest should be called Carolina Concrete or whatever, because it's like not a forest anymore. Although we do have a huge preserve area in Carolina Forest, just so you know. But it's true, and I think when people
get worked up,
the beautiful trees and everything, and then you see animals more because their land has been cut down. I get it; people are upset, but the county is saying, okay, we understand we know that there are some challenges with growth. There's some give and take with growth, but we also understand the value of preserving nature and beauty and the environment that we have that is drawing people to our area. So I think it's really smart of our local leadership to have the foresight to spend money wisely on things like this.
No, I agree. I think it's important. And I think it's also, again, important for everybody to work together. I mean, we're real estate agents and home builders. Personally, I'm a hunter. I love animals, and I want to make sure we conserve as much as possible. This is actually a very important topic to me, because I care about nature, I care about the animals, and I care about preserving it so that it's around for many, many years to come. And so, that's they're doing good things. I think that's good. They're doing what they can right now.
And one of the big benefits, especially here, because we do have hurricanes, coastal flooding, like all the things happening. And a lot of times the flooding doesn't actually come from the ocean. You might not know that. I certainly wouldn't have thought that. A lot of times the flooding comes from the rivers.
Yes.
So
it backs up.
Yeah. So they're saying that conserving area like this can help save up to $70 million in flood protection for the area, because it serves as like a buffer that helps with flooding from the river, because all of this land goes against the river. And we've seen hurricanes before where people have lived on the water in the river for years, and all of a sudden their whole neighborhood is flooded.
And we need we need as much as we can get. We don't have, knock on wood, we have those floods every once in a while from the hurricanes, and it's usually from backing up on the rivers and everything else. But I think we could use all the help we can get to protect everybody's home values and, keep insurance costs down.
Well, that's true too. But the worst flooding in our area doesn't even happen during the hurricane. It's usually a week or two later, because all of the rivers in the upstate that, as the storm went inland, get flooded, and then eventually they go down to sea level and make their way down here, and then our rivers and water around town rises, and that's when we see the flooding. So sometimes you're like, a hurricane went by, everything's good, and then a week later there's all these floods around town, and you're like, how'd that happen? So something to be aware of if you're purchasing real estate right next to one of our local rivers. You might want to look into, have they had any FEMA claims? What flood zone are they in? What is the likelihood? It's just something to think about. But having a buffer like this, if you want to live near the river, but you have this buffer in between, can really help mitigate your flood risk, which I think is one of the big things.
Flood zones, drainage, stormwater, insurance costs, all have to do and affect buyer and seller decisions with real estate. And so whether you're a home builder like us, whether you're real estate agents like us, whether we do short-term vacation rental management. So whether you do any of that or all of that or nothing, this affects you, especially if you want to buy or sell here in the Grand Strand.
Or just visit the Grand Strand.
Yeah. So it matters. And 70 million, I'll take it. But think about the cost. Let's say you didn't have this. Yeah. When they take out this stuff, let's say the land that we're preserving, you would have to replace that with some man-made structure. So it's not really 70 million.
Yeah.
70 million is what it prevents, but then you'd have to count the building, what you'd have to build man-made to add to that. That's the real delta.
Yeah. Which you don't need if you have buffer conservation areas.
So we're saving money and protecting values at the same time.
But let's be honest, let's say the county hadn't gotten their hands on this land. A developer would have eventually bought the land.
Of course.
And it doesn't matter if it's in a flood zone, they're going to be developing there.
Uh-oh. This sounds like the beginning of a Hallmark movie. The evil developer comes into town.
Well, it could happen. So this is always a good thing. But I love my Hallmark movies. And you do too, Frank.
Yeah. I watch them because you make me watch them, right? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. We'll just say that that's true. So.
But you're right. A developer would have come in. Obviously, it's good property. So some of it's going to be a little hard to build on, but that's another story.
I think people that are considering purchasing in our area, I do get a lot of calls from people that ask me, is there a lot of nature trails and places I can go and do these kind of outdoor activities? Of course, you love the beach, but it's a totally different feel when you're on the river versus the beach or even the waterway. We have so much natural beauty here and so many different things to do. So this is adding another thing that can draw people to live here and to vacation here. And so it'll be interesting to see what kind of value add it is over time to both tourism and then also property values around this conservation area.
And it makes me think, I would be interested to know, if you're watching this now or later, tell us where you live. Where are you by? Are you in Aynor or Conway? Mm-hmm. Have you ever had flooding? And what do you think about the fact that we just, purchased 4,600 acres? I say we, but the Conservancy, yeah. And then they're going to give it the DNR. Would you have done that? Do you think we should have, purchased the 4,600 acres? What would you have done? I'm just curious.
Is it a good use of funds?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you live there, are you excited? Do you think your property values will go up, or do you think they will go down because of this? Mm-hmm. But if you haven't thought about it, I would encourage you, if you do live near it, to be educated on it, because if you do ever go to sell it, it's a big story that you need to tell to the buyer to add value to what you're selling. So if a buyer, a lot of times buyers are coming from out of the area, they have no idea that that's a conservation land. They wouldn't know. So it's something that as a seller, you need to make sure that you're educating your potential buyers about the value of the conservation land and how nothing will be built there. And there's all these activities you can do. So I would encourage you. I think people hear these headlines and they're like, that doesn't apply to me, I don't care. And they kind of brush it off and they don't think about the actual real application to our lives and to their property values.
Well, yeah. And I mean, how could they? They don't know what we know. Well, if they're watching this, they know. Yeah. But we know.
That's what we're here for.
That's what we're here for. Exactly. So, but the other thing is, we are known for the beach, right? And we are more than just the beach.
Yeah.
And I think this adds to that story. We have more than just the beach. You can do more than just go to the beach. And there's a lot of people that come here, retirees, vacation homeowners, and they love nature.
Yeah.
And so they're here for that. And it may not be everybody, but there's a lot of people who love bird watching and animal watching or hiking or kayaking and so many things.
Every time we're at the bike riding, it's called the Hulk, but there's so many people there. You wouldn't even know that there's so many people that are interested
way back in
that.
There, yeah.
But the nature lovers find these core places and they use them. And I think that's super cool. And definitely something that is a benefit to our growth. If we weren't growing so quickly, the county probably wouldn't have money to be conserving areas like this. So it goes hand in hand. You take the good with the bad. And I think this is one of the highlights of that.
I agree.
So, but anything else you have to share about?
No, I mean, I think that's the big things. I mean, the question is what's on for the future. Are they going to do anything else like this? Because
you never know. I never heard.
This came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
This came out of nowhere. When I saw the headline, I was like, what? Yeah. I didn't even, and I'll bet you nobody else is talking or really paid attention to it either.
Well, last week we talked about the new budget that probably nobody knew about or paid attention. It sounds so boring, I know, but it really does matter. And again, they're putting money into these rural areas. So they're really investing a lot of money, not just on the oceanfront now. And we've seen it even in Conway. Think about the changes that little cute, adorable river town has made in the past decade. It's unbelievable. They are totally redoing their whole riverfront and drawing not just locals. It used to be a local hotspot, but they're really drawing tourism to their little town. It's amazing. And with the more tourism that they get, they're growing and investing back into the city and making it even better and better. So all of these rural areas that have really been not much out there, this could really benefit.
I agree. Christmas in Conway.
I know. Hallmark again.
Second Hallmark reference. But you think about it, like there's got to be growth without sacrificing all the beautiful nature in the area. And I think that's really what this is about.
Yeah. And it's nice that they are giving just the regular public access to this land. They're not just blocking it off and saying you're not allowed to go there. They're actually it sounds like going to be developing it in a way with trails and things to do, probably they'll put up signage or whatnot out there. So I think that's going to be so fun. What do y'all think? I mean, I don't particularly love bugs and like nature, but I bet we do it.
Probably not going to catch Tiffany out there, but
I do it with you and Hudson, but I won't be camping out there, and that's for sure. So, but it is beautiful when I'm forced to go out. It is beautiful.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk here in a little bit about what you might find out there, because I think that's really interesting to me.
Well, let's talk about it now.
All right. So what might you find?
Do we want to know? Are these good things or bad things?
I think it's cool. So let's see. Let me find the, here we go. So I'm not sure if anybody knows this. I didn't know this until we ran into it at the farmer's market in Market Common.
Mm-hmm. You're going to say the Venus flytraps?
The Venus flytrap is native to Horry County.
Yeah, it's actually native. It grows on its own.
Well, it says that most people think it's a North Carolina thing. I didn't even know it was a Carolina thing. I thought it was in like the Amazon. I didn't even know the Venus flytrap was here.
Like the jungle. I didn't know it was in North Carolina, but
but one of the only wild populations in South Carolina is at Lewis Ocean Bay Heritage Preserve in Conway.
It's technically Conway, but it's in the Carolina Forest area.
Yeah. But it's they exist in just a 100-mile radius of Wilmington across both Carolinas, and development pressure is a big issue. So this is protecting the Venus flytrap, technically, maybe.
You know what we bought at that farmer's market, because they had a tent called not man-eating, but like carnivore plants or something. So of course Hudson was super interested, and we bought a pitcher plant, which is also local to our region. And we've been able to keep our pitcher plant
carnivorous.
Carnivorous, yes.
Carnivorous.
Which is super cool. And we bought one, and we still have it, and we love it.
Pitcher plants are super cool. I wish we had pictures. We should have shown some pictures. We have them in our home. The flytrap, the pitcher plants. Yeah, if you've ever heard of a pitcher plant, let us know if you have them. They look like a tulip cup. Well, the pitcher, but they're like a tulip cup, and then bugs go in it, and they kill the bugs, like flies and that kind of stuff.
It's not as exciting as we also had bought, but we accidentally killed it, the Venus flytrap. But those are like, but the pitcher plant's more just like docile.
Yes.
So, but super cool if you have children or just you are into gardening or whatnot.
If you want to get Tiffany a gift, don't make it a plant, because it probably won't survive.
Okay.
All right.
I've kept some alive. Whatever. It's true.
But I thought it was really interesting that Venus flytraps were native here. Yeah. We also, I don't know if you know this, but the Waccamaw River has its own exclusive wildlife club. It's so ecologically unique that it produced species found absolutely nowhere else on Earth.
What? That's crazy.
The Waccamaw killfish, a small fish with turquoise and purple sides, zebra stripes, and fins tipped in gold and orange, exist in this river system. Same with the Waccamaw darter, the silverside, the spike mussel, and 2 endemic species of snails. So they're just not rare in South Carolina. They're rare on the planet.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
That's very interesting. Why is it called a killfish?
They're both also the killfish and the darter are both currently listed as federal species of concern. Oh. And the silverside is federally threatened.
Well, so, I mean, also we know the normal things that you'll find in a river here.
Yes.
Snakes, alligators. We did a video on snakes.
Yes, if you haven't seen our live video on snakes, but this is what the real bottom line here is that we're preserving 4,600 acres like this. We might be saving Venus flytraps, we might not be, but this is the typical habitat that they would be in.
Yeah.
And it's important to preserve threatened species like this. It's really cool. And that's unique to here in Horry County in South Carolina. And so I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you think of conservation areas, you think of animals. You don't really think about plants or fish, for sure. I mean, you're thinking about the black bears that we talk about, and the deer and all the animals. We saw an otter on our land the other day. That was so cute.
Yeah.
I never thought you could have an otter here, but again, I'm
river
surprised
otter,
all the time.
We have black bear. We have.
I guess Hudson's school mascot is the river otters, so I guess it makes sense they are in our area.
Yeah, you just don't see them a lot. They're really
cute.
They are cute, but they're elusive.
I mean, would y'all go and hike on this preserve area, or would you be a little concerned about the wildlife? I don't know. When we went hiking in Myrtle Beach State Park, there was the biggest alligators there just sitting around the trails. And remember that spider was like,
yeah.
I mean,
it looked like a banana spider.
So big. I can't even believe it. But they had the public bathrooms at the state park. So I'm sure they'll probably put in a public restroom there.
They should. I think it'd be cool.
Or something. So
that way if they're going to have people out there,
that's probably why they're not opening it up until 2027, because I'm sure they have plans for different trails and bathrooms and things to do.
Yeah. I thought this was kind of cool. The carnivorous plant capital of America is right next door, which is the Green Swamp area just across the state line, has 14 species of carnivorous plants in a single county. And that's the pitcher plants, sundews, bladderworts, and flytraps, all dependent on the same fire and flood dependent habitats protected over these corridors that we're buying.
Well, it makes sense because we have a lot of bugs at the beach. I just saw on the news today that we're having a mosquito problem.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all don't live here, or maybe you do, how is it affecting you? But we are in a severe drought still. This is crazy. And you can tell by every piece of water you drive by how low the water levels are. And so they've become breeding grounds for mosquitoes, I guess, because of this drought, is what they said. So they're sending out and doing the air spraying and everything for the mosquitoes. But who knew a drought would cause a mosquito problem?
Is it really to kill the mosquitoes?
Oh my goodness. But the carnivorous plants, maybe they'll help us because they're killing these little,
you never know,
pesky bugs.
Here's some other interesting facts. South Carolina's roughly 20 million total acres. About 88% is privately owned. That's interesting. Only about 12% is publicly held in any form, and that's below the national average of 13%. Nevada is 80% federal land. Utah is 65%. So we're one of the most privately developed states in the country. And I think that makes a case for conservation even more, because we're already where we don't want to go any lower, which is kind of interesting. Because you drive out here and you could drive forever and not see anything. So when I read something like this, I can't believe it, because like I know if you drive out west, it's just vast and there's so much stuff.
It's a big, wide open land.
Yeah. But here you can go to a lot of places and drive and not see a thing. And so to know that is really interesting. Now it says owned, it doesn't say developed.
Exactly.
So a lot of that land is just probably owned, but it could be.
People have been handed down from their families from generation to generation. But even the highway project that's connecting 31 into North Carolina has had pushback, because some of those people that have owned land, they are saying, we're going to take part of your land and put in a highway, and they're not happy about it. So that has caused some delay in that project. But again, that just shows why this conservation area can help your land value, because that really is happening, where if you don't know what's around you, then anything's possible, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. Couple other fun facts. The U.S. has a protected land problem. A 2025 study found that less than 3% of U.S. land is both protected and ecologically connected, meaning it functions as actual wildlife habitat rather than isolated patches. So us adding the 4,600 protected acres to the DNR system, it moves the needle on a national problem. So it's contributing to national issues as well as our local issues. So that's really important to have more of the protected land. At the end of the day, that's what it's saying.
Well, we'd love your feedback on this. And if you're thinking about moving to our area, this is another thing important to know. And so I think that's why it's important to bring it up today. And it sounds like a boring topic again, but it's something that is important for so many reasons, like we've talked about. So,
well, it's one of those things you don't pay attention to.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important, if you're going to move someplace, especially if you're moving there because you love the outdoors, then you want to know that that's somewhat of a priority to the place that you're moving to. And that's what is nice for me, in my opinion, is that we know that they're at least making strides to try and protect more of the nature. Yeah.
Well, let us know what your thoughts are about this one. And if there's any other projects that you know about we haven't talked about yet, and you want to suggest that we put it on the show, then let us know. We'd be more than happy to look at it. Or if you have any other topics you want us to talk about, let us know as well.
Yeah, this is what's great about these is we learn as well. And it's important for us to make sure that you know everything that's going on here in Myrtle Beach and the surrounding area. If you also have questions about buying a home in Myrtle Beach, selling a home in Myrtle Beach, building a home in Myrtle Beach, if you have a short-term rental and you need that managed, we help with all of it. And we also have guides on our website. So if you need our guide on, buying or selling or investing in real estate in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, then go to our website, which is carolinacraftedhomes.com, or contact us. Our contact info is there. But we're here to help you. And it's not about that. We just want to be a resource for you. And that's why we do these videos. These videos are more about just being a resource for you. We're trying to bring as much value for you as possible. And that's what's most important to us, is that you make a great decision and that you come to experience the area as well, because we love it. And we're so happy we did it.
Well, thanks for joining us, y'all. And we'll see you on the next one.
All right, everybody. See you next week.